In this video, we are unveiling 5 shocking secrets about Don Jazzy's mother that will completely blow your mind. These are the shocking truths you never knew about her. We urge you to hit the subscribe button now, so you won't miss out on these 5 secrets. Michael Collins Ajera, better known as Don Jazzy, was born on November 26, 1982, in Umuahia, Abia State, Nigeria. Don Jazzy's father hails from Isoko in Delta State, while his mother is an Igbo princess from Abia State. His parents, though not wealthy, prioritized education and believed in the value of hard work and discipline. Growing up in Umuahia, a city with a mixture of rich cultural traditions and the hustle of everyday life, Don Jazzy was influenced by a community that celebrated music and rhythm. At the age of 4, his family moved to Lagos, a vibrant, bustling city that would serve as the backdrop for his formative years. They settled in Ajigona, a neighborhood known for its vibrant street culture but also notorious for its tough living conditions. It was here that Don Jazzy began to understand the challenges that life could throw at a person. Ajigona, often regarded as a place where dreams could either thrive or die, would become the crucible where his ambitions were forged. Education was a significant part of his upbringing, and Don Jazzy was enrolled at the Federal Government College in Lagos. It was here that he first encountered the discipline and structure that would later serve him well in the music industry. But beyond the textbooks and classroom lessons, it was music that began to capture his attention. From a young age, he found solace in the sound of the bass guitar and piano, instruments that would soon become his voice in the music world. At 12 years old, Don Jazzy discovered his love for music. He started playing the bass guitar, an instrument that fascinated him with its deep, resonating sound. His fascination wasn't limited to the bass, he also taught himself how to play the piano, showcasing his early natural musical talent. In 2000, Don Jazzy made a life-changing decision. Despite his growing musical aspirations, he knew that the Nigerian music scene wasn't offering him the opportunities he needed to make a breakthrough. With the support of his family, Don Jazzy moved to London, where he would pursue his dream of becoming a successful music producer and artist. At first, life in London was not as glamorous as it would eventually become. He moved to the city with very little money and a clear goal in mind, to make a name for himself in the music industry. To support himself while he built his career, Don Jazzy worked several odd jobs. One of his first jobs was at McDonald's, where he worked as a security guard. His job was far from glamorous, but it allowed him to survive and continue working towards his dream. London, at the time, was an international hub for music, especially for young artists looking for a break. Don Jazzy immersed himself in the city's vibrant music scene. During this period, he began collaborating with local artists and producers, including Solek, JJC Skills, and Cass, who had already made a name for themselves in the UK music scene. But the struggle wasn't easy. London's competitive music scene was saturated with talent, and Don Jazzy had to prove himself at every turn. He spent years refining his production skills, experimenting with different sounds, and understanding the intricacies of the global music industry. In 2004, after years of hard work, networking, and honing his skills, Don Jazzy was ready to take the next big step in his career. The music scene in London had been an essential learning ground, but it was time for him to make his mark back home in Nigeria. With his sights set on taking the Nigerian music industry by storm, Don Jazzy returned to Lagos, bringing with him a wealth of experience and a burning desire to create something groundbreaking. In 2012, Don Jazzy launched Maven Records, a label that would go on to change the landscape of Nigerian music once again. While many were uncertain about what the future held for him after the emo hit split, Don Jazzy's commitment to excellence never wavered. He knew that the industry needed a fresh, creative platform, and Maven was born out of that need. If you enjoyed this story about Don Jazzy, make sure to hit that like button to show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more inspiring stories of influential figures. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below with what you found most inspiring about Don Jazzy's story.